I'm George Saylor, Impact Academy teacher.
How long you been teaching here, George?
I think this is year number 3 here, but overall year number 38.
38?
38.
Wow. Now, let me tell you my connection with George. I
Here
didn't know
we
you
go.
worked here. But every time I talk about, like, the music, the old school music that I grew up on, I would see him, he said, you mentioned this, you mentioned that, and that's how we became connected. So I know everything about him, he knows about me. I talk about, you ever heard Dookie Stick by George Duke?
Who?
Seen that?
There we go. Blame it on the
say,
youth.
hold on, did
Blame
he
it
say
on the youth.
Dookie Stick?
Dookie Stick.
I didn't even know we could say that on the radio. Dookie Stick?
Dookie Stick, man.
As soon as you hear the intro to that with the bass,
So how you doing,
we
man?
having a Dookie moment now, boy.
I'm doing great. I'm glad you guys are here to inspire our young people and also be those faces behind the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, my day was come here and just try to reconnect really with the new generation, because this new generation, they live their life through this thing right here.
Absolutely.
We grew up with clocks by the bed, alarms by the bed. That's all gone.
The radio
the
was the
radio
alarm.
came on with the alarm.
Yeah.
Now it's this. So I'm trying to reconnect and let them know we're still here. And local radio, live local radio still matters. You know, talking about what's going on in your hood, your friends, your schools.
Absolutely.
You know.
Great. So can I ask you guys a couple of questions?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So you've been in music for a while. What trends are you noticing, or what do you think is next? And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So I was a Motown kind of guy, and then it became the doo-wop groups, et cetera, et cetera. And then I was around for the birth of hip hop and rap. What do you think is coming up next?
Man, I think it's still rap. I think it's just going to be different types. Like right now, you got hip hop artists doing country rap now.
Right.
So I think it's going to still be hip hop. They're just going to test the waters more of different genres.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to go back to the musicians.
Okay.
I think we become electronic out. It's so easy to make music in your bedroom these days. People going to start learning how to
You
play
think it's
piano.
gonna go back?
It's going to go back to people playing
With
real,
AI out
real-
here?
with real instruments. That might be the death of it, man. It's going to go
Well,
back
with
to being
AI out here, it's
real
tough to make
instruments.
it go back because I think less people will learn how to play instruments because you could do it with AI.
That's true, but I think
Right. Well, at the same time, we have somebody like Andre 3000 who has said, you know what? Outkast was amazing, but I want to do my own solo projects. I want to do the
Right.
flute project. I
Right.
want to do the piano project. So
Yeah.
you think there might be more of a return to that?
I think it's going to be returned to musicians.
I hope so. I
You
hope
know,
so.
musicianship.
I don't see it because we're dependent on the youth to do it. And the youth is right now they into everything microwave, everything fast.
I'm from a day where there's nothing like going to a show and there's a drummer over there. There's a keyboard player over there. There's a bass player over there.
came up with
Lately,
the
I go
bands.
to shows. It's somebody like me behind 2 turntables, or there's someone pushing a button. It's gonna get back to, entertaining. You're gonna people want to see that. That's
hope
what I
so.
believe.
Well, you had talked about kind of your return, or at least your initial start was you sold your drums.
I sold my bass.
Right.
Sold my bass.
Oh, he was listening yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that was a big change for you. And I'm thinking about the AI and all this other stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if we're going to get back to the basics. So given that question, if you had to pick a singer from a previous decade, a singer from now, and someone who you think is going to really blow up and be this amazing person, who do you feel it's going to be?
Who's coming up next?
Well, who's coming up next? But who was it that for
From
a
the
time
past?
period in your life that did it, right now that does it, and who's coming up for you?
I think Busta Rhymes was an artist, a rapper who was there from the beginning, who just changed with the times. It's hard to keep up and change with the times.
still
'Cause
keep
you can
going
get
now?
You can get left behind.
So you're saying somebody who stand the test of time?
Yeah.
Keep on
Yeah,
going.
stood the test of time.
Yeah, gotta be Buster. He's like he's the one who's doing it right now.
Yeah.
Well, and I know Buster would definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
I saw him, I think, twice, the Warp Tour down at Xfinity.
Yeah.
And he came on, he just had his turntables. And I was like, okay, how's he going to pull this off?
Nah, he's a
Then
great
I saw
performer.
Doesn't
LL
need it.
Cool J do the same thing.
Same
he
thing.
had a laptop.
Same thing.
And it was incredible. I was down in Miami at the Jazz Festival. And I was like, okay, let's see how this is going to work out.
Man, this was great, man. Thank you for having us.
Okay. I definitely want to pose some food for thought for you guys. So, well, now let me ask you, what advice would you give our young people out there? I know you had talked about, definitely, gaining a trade, etc. But what else would you tell them, as parents, as young people who see a lot going on, what would you give advice for kids?
For me, I would tell them stay focused because there's a lot of distractions. I think with kids, the biggest thing is when they come to school, when they leave home, because peer pressure could be crazy. You know, your parents could teach you everything they want, but when you leave that house, you know, when you in school or when you out with your friends, maybe your friends' parents didn't teach them the right way.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I would say stay focused and be your own leader. Don't follow.
Need you saying stay focused, be your own leader, and do the best that you can do when no one's watching.
Okay, because that's the key. It
When
doesn't
no one's
matter
watching.
when someone's there what you do.
It's
but
what you
when
do when no one is watching
it's
what
the
really
habits that
matters,
you
man.
develop, et cetera.
How does it make you feel working in this school when the students that come here that don't really succeed in the bigger schools and they come here and they flourish? How does that make you feel?
I mean, it definitely makes me feel great. I'm glad to be a part of it. I will always say that I am blessed to have the opportunity to teach, that parents would entrust me to be able to help their children learn and to hopefully be a role model and example that will be good for them in the future. So, and I think we all teach. I think we all have things to offer. I definitely know that kids are watching to see what we do and the example that we have. And like you said, it's the things that you do when no one is around that makes a difference. Are you going to be that same person?
What is your motivation?
Honestly, I'm blessed to be able to have this. I'm blessed, that God has put me in this position to be able to do what I do, and I don't take it for granted. My mother passed away a number of years ago, but I always feel like she's watching me to see if I'm always doing the right things. So, sometimes it gets tricky. I mean, I think we all said that this is definitely a different kind of generation in terms of how they might respond to things, but I'm sure our teachers were saying the same things when we were in school, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have all the access to everything that was immediate right here, right now. But certainly, we thought we knew a lot more than probably we actually did.
What advice do you give? Would you give a kid? What advice do you give to the young generation or someone that's going to come here that was in the bigger schools? What's your first conversation with that student?
I think my first conversation is that you should value yourself, no matter what has been said to you about, previous schooling or previous things in life. You believe in yourself and don't give up because you never know. You might have your next Hot 93.7 DJ here. You might have your next teacher. You might have your next astronaut. Whatever it might be could be right here. And this could be that time that you just kind of take off with it.
Man, I think.